All right, we are recording coaching sneak peek. Thanks for attending, and we have a few topics we want to go over to give you some clarity on, what we do as coaches, why we're so passionate about it, the benefits that you can experience personally and for your family, and also, how you can impact other people's lives. So my name is Joe Saya. This is my success partner, Mike Dados. So Mike, you want to introduce yourself a little bit and share your story?
Yeah, so my name is Mike Dados. I've been a coach for about 5 years. Back when I was growing up, I still have ADD and writing learning disability. I had very low confidence in myself, rode the short bus to school, and would always try so hard to win acceptance from people. Like I always would fill that void. And it all started when I got bullied. And through these negative thought stacking over the years of getting bullied, riding the short bus, being in slower classes, I really felt like I wasn't good enough, and I would try so hard for people to like me. I was very timid, and throughout my life, I would go into job interview. I would struggle with job interviews, and I just didn't really have that confidence in myself to exceed. Like I always had a heart to put in, like whatever I put my mind to, I never give up. I continue to show up. But it wasn't till coaching where I really healed from everything I went through in my past and gained confidence. And it's so crazy how all this happened, because I was always into fitness. Like back in college, my buddy got me into lifting weights. And when I started lifting weights, it was all about trying to prove myself to other people. I got into personal training. I was working at my uncle's factory doing sheet metal fabrication. I'm like, maybe I want to get into personal training. And then I would have some clients show up. They would show up for a couple of days, and then they would fall off. And I would always beat myself up over it. But through coaching, I really gained a lot of confidence in myself. And I was randomly introduced to it through my brother's customer. She was like a big Beachbody coach, and she randomly introduced me. And when I first signed up, it was all for the discount. Like I wanted the discount on the products. I love lifting weights, and I wanted to try out something new. So I was at the gym for like an hour, 2 hours sometimes, doing free programs that I found online. And I'm like, you know what? I want to change it up. This Body Beast program looks really cool. I decided to try out Body Beast, gained about 10 pounds of muscle. But it wasn't until I worked my mind and I let things go that didn't serve me. That was the time when I built up so much confidence in myself. I won a physique competition. The cool thing with this coaching opportunity, you can win trips. I was supposed to win a trip to Punta Cana. I won a trip to Punta Cana, but the trip was canceled today. But the greatest thing that's ever changed with me is feeling confident in my own skin. And I love with this opportunity, the more I grow internally, the more I can offer to help other people go after their dreams. So that's like the coolest thing about coaching is you change internally through working your minds, through the workouts. You always have positive mentors there that can help you out, that can hold you accountable. You have trainings to grow your mind. And then the more you grow internally, the bigger of an impact you can make for everybody else around you. And it's so much deeper than just the business. It's showing up as the greatest version of yourself for everyone that you love in your life. That's what I love so much about this opportunity. Oh, are you muted?
Yep. Actually, I knew I was muted. I was trying to find the mute button. So awesome. I love hearing your story all the time, and how you've overcome everything just being part of this opportunity. My story is a little different. I was a college athlete, and never really dreamed that I would have like problems with weight. In fact, when I was younger, I was always that kid who was trying to gain weight. My senior year in high school, I was like 5'11", 150 pounds, skinny kid. And playing football, I took a beating, and I wanted to get bigger, stronger. So I was always taking like weight gain and stuff, but I was never really committed to it, and never really knew what I was doing in terms of going to the gym and stuff. I mean, my football teams would always have workout routines, but that was only good when I was under their instruction, which wasn't a full year-long thing. Got a little bit better in college. It was a little bit more of a disciplined program. But once I stopped playing and started focusing on my schoolwork and eventually my career, things started to change. Through the last couple of years of college, I ended up gaining about 30, 40 pounds. And then that just continued after I graduated college, got into the workforce, started to do well in my career, started to get more responsibility, and ultimately left very little time for myself. Got married, ended up having 3 kids. My oldest now is 12, and I have 2 twins at the age of 8 right now. But when they were younger, about 5 years ago, or 6 years ago now, all of this, like focus on my family, focus on my job stuff, and not focusing on myself, left me about 70 pounds heavier than I was when I played football in college. And I didn't feel well at all. I had, my kids were younger, so I think Cam was 6 or 7, and the twins were about 3. And, they were running circles around me. And just one of the most important things in my life was just being a dad. I've always wanted to be a dad for as long as I can remember. And I finally got the opportunity, and I wasn't feeling like I was able to do the things I wanted to do. Every single time my kids were running around and they're like, "Oh, I'll play." And I was like, "Oh, I just want to sit. I'll just sit here and watch you." And then it sort of came to a head when one day I was on my way to work, and I had come downstairs. I was just about ready to leave, and I realized my shoes were upstairs again. I was like, I'm running late. So I had to run upstairs to go grab my shoes. And it's like 14 steps. And by the time I got up to the top of the stairs, I was completely winded. And I had to sit down. I grabbed the shoes, sat down, leaned over to put them on, and my stomach got in the way. And that just created so much additional pressure that it felt harder to breathe. And so I eventually got my shoes on, and I sat back, and I was just thinking about myself. I had just turned 40, and, I was feeling aches and pains and tired, lack of energy. And then the phone rang, and it was my sister. And she was like hysterical. She was just so upset about something. And it turned out like a week before, she had told me that one of her best friends had her 9-year-old son had just been diagnosed with a brain tumor. And so I immediately thought that it had something to do with her friend's son. And it was the same family, but it wasn't the son. What had happened the night before is this woman's husband who was only 5 years older than me, had a heart attack and died. So my thoughts just immediately went to, oh my God, this poor woman found out a week ago that her son has a brain tumor. And now she's got to bury her husband and deal with this whole thing on her own. And then I just started thinking, I'm like, this guy was only 5 years older than me, about the same height, about the same weight, about the same type of lifestyle. I was never really a big drinker, but, 2, 3 drinks every day. Definitely a beer with dinner was like my commonplace. And just going out with the guys, eating things like fried foods, bar foods, basically. And I just sat there and I thought, what would happen if that were me? Now, my wife, unfortunately, knock on wood, my kids are all healthy. But still, what would happen if I just left? And my wife was left to deal with raising 3 kids by herself. And I immediately said, excuses have to go away. This has to change. And immediately I started my first program with Beachbody, and it was P90X3. It was half-hour workouts. And I said to myself, if I can't do half-hour workouts, then there's really no hope for me. So I hit play that day, and I haven't stopped. Did a post the other day. It was like 2,160 days ago that I made that decision. And that was the day I just described to you guys. Since then, I've never skipped a workout. Now, days like today was a rest day. It's scheduled on my program. But I have not skipped a workout that I was supposed to do because I made that commitment that I was going to make that change. And I couldn't have done it on my own. It's one thing to hit play. It's one thing to do that. But when I started getting these results and I was working out with a friend of mine who's a member of our team, he and I were keeping each other accountable. He introduced me to a friend of his who was a Beachbody coach. And she invited me to join her team. I think at the time I had lost about 40 pounds. And at first I was a little hesitant because I was like, what do I have to offer this community? But once I started meeting some people in the community and realizing all of the benefits, I'm like, I might want to check this out. And so I went to a sneak peek similar to this and learned all about what it would be like to be a coach. And from that moment on, I was so excited to jump right in. And what I found after being a coach was that the fact of being a coach held me more accountable to my own fitness journey than I was even holding myself to before that. After becoming a coach, I lost 30 more pounds, so total loss of about 70. And then I started to change my goals to add more muscle. I think I've gained about 15 to 18 pounds of muscle since then. And that was 6 years ago. So this has become a lifestyle for me. It's not something that I even think about anymore. Tomorrow, this is the workout on the schedule, and I go to work. And then all I do is I just enjoy sharing this with other people. And that's one of the benefits of being a coach that we'll talk about. So that's my story. I'm going to cut it off here. I'm going to turn it back over to Mike. Mike's going to share with us a little bit about the different types of coaches that are out there.
Yeah, and I just want to say congrats, man. Like that's huge. You completely change your life around like that. And it's a great inspiration for anybody that is currently stuck where they're at in their life right now. Because what I've learned is if somebody else can do it, somebody else can do it as well. All it is just having that mindset shift. And what really helps me out is being around positive people, uplifting, inspiring people that hold me accountable to my goals. So when that negative chatter happens, which it always is going to happen all the time, but you have people that continue to uplift you and continue to tell you that you're worth it. So yes, you're going to have your lows, but you're also going to have your days when, you know, you're on fire. And it's just being around people that keep you at that level in order to succeed. So what I want to talk about is a different kind of coaches. For me, when I was working in the factory, when I was introduced to this coaching opportunity, I had no clue what it was. I thought it was some kind of like online personal training. And then when I was introduced to it, to be honest, it's like you hear about the opportunity from somebody that you're just meeting for the first time. So you're kind of iffy about it. And you hear what coaching is. And first thought I had was, I don't want to sell to people. I'm not a salesperson. And I told Carrie, you know, I'm just gonna have to think about this and let me get back with you. And she was so caring. She was so friendly. She's like, okay, I totally understand. If you have any questions, just let me know. And then she actually she shared some personal development books for me because she knew what I was struggling with confidence. So she gave me books to help build my confidence. And then I was skeptical, and I had my self-limiting beliefs telling me I thought I failed in personal training. I'm like, yeah, I'm not a good personal trainer. I've had clients, they don't stick around. Like, how can I succeed at this? And then I talked to her again, and she introduced me to the Body Beast program. And back when she introduced me to it, that was when I was going to the gym an hour, 2 hours a day. And the problem with me is I have ADD. So I go to the gym, start lifting, and then I have distractions. So people are coming up to me, talking, and then 2 minutes later, I'm on my next set, or even 5 minutes later. And what I found out is that I was spending so much time in the gym, and I was getting results, but not the results that I want to see. So I'm like, you know, let me try it out. Let me try out Body Beast. So when I first signed on, it was all about the discount. It was like, let me give this program a try. That's when I gained about 10 pounds of muscle. But I never was posting in the Facebook groups, the accountability groups. But then I just saw people start posting. I saw all these amazing transformations of people, you know, losing weight, getting off their medicine, eating healthy, and not just making like weight loss transformations where they lose weight and then they fall off and then they're back. It's like lifestyle transformation, sustainable lifestyle transformation through these programs. And I saw the confidence that people are getting, like posting in the group. It's so much more than just losing the weight. Hey, I'm showing up better for my husband right now. I feel amazing in my clothes. I went after my dream job today. And then I started, like, I'm getting like chills right now just thinking about it, like how much this has changed my life. So I've seen like all the transformations in the groups. And that's like when I started building more confidence in myself. Like I hopped on a team call with my team, and one of the speakers was talking about how she brought her husband home from war, from the military. And just from working this business long enough, like you have to have patience. Like you have to have this long-term vision of where you want to get to. It's just like building any other business. But she worked it long enough, and she put in enough passion, enough effort in order to reach that level where she made it into a full time. So right now I moved from a discount. I would say I'm more of a business builder. Like I really don't know where I want to take this right now, but I love knowing that I'm making a big impact in people's lives. And just from like that one message, like just one message I would get, thank you for posting that today. Like that completely changed the rest of my day. Or thank you for getting vulnerable today. Your post really resonated with me. And now, one of my challengers, he made this huge move to a different state because he saw my confidence in myself to move from Michigan to Tennessee. So there's three different paths. So you can be the discount, which is 25% off all products. The hobby coach, which is kind of like what I was when I first started out. I was kind of posting, but kind of not. And the cool thing with the hobby coach is you can put as much or as little time as you want into this business. So like it's perfect. Like for me, I have a full-time job. So I work my full-time IT job and then I coach on the side. So there's no quotas. There's no certain amount of hours that you can put into it. It all comes down to the effort that you put in, and that's what's going to determine how successful you are, which is really cool because you go to a job and you're determined by the paycheck, your salary. But with coaching, you determine how much you earn. And then like when life gets busy, you can shift from business builder to hobby to discount. It's your business to run it however you want. So those are the three types of coaching. The next thing I want to talk about is like, I know some of you guys are asking like, what do we do as coaches? Like what are our daily tasks? And I just want to talk about those today. So we have these four vitals, these four daily vitals that we always follow. So the most important one in my opinion is doing personal development, because when you run a business, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. There's going to be customers that come to you, customers that you feel like are going to be around forever, but they end up falling off. And you're going to have these coaches that you think you're going to have these business builders that you think are going to go far, but then they don't put in the effort that you think they're going to put in. So you have to have like this personal development. You always have to have something positive that is in your mind when you have those self-limiting beliefs that are popping up. And this is like the biggest thing for me is when I first started with feeling like I was a failure as a personal trainer, I had these self-limiting beliefs that were always popping up. But when you start listening to something positive from people that have failed and have figured out ways to succeed, that gives you inspiration and that gives you hope in order to continue. So that's number one, always putting something positive in your mind, reading something. There's free podcasts, free YouTube videos. And this is the cool thing. It's so much bigger than just building a business. Like when you grow your mind, every other area of your life gets better. Like my confidence to move to Tennessee, I show up as a better boyfriend to my girlfriend. I go after my dreams. I don't settle for a life that I know I know I have these bigger dreams now. And because of personal development and expanding my mind, that's what gives me belief to do bigger things in my life. So that's number one, in my opinion, is personal development. Number two, coaching is all about showing up for yourself first. Because the more you grow internally, when you grow internally, everything externally is going to change. So that's why I say personal development is so huge, because you can have these programs, but if your mindset isn't in it, you're not going to follow through and you're not going to be consistent enough to get results. So number two, daily vital is be proof the products work. So take action on the workouts, drink Shakeology, drink the performance line. And in order to inspire other people to join you on this journey, you have to continue to get results as you go. Like my story when I started is a lot different now that I continue to get out of my comfort zone and reach for that next level. So number two is just being the proof the products work. Number three is recognition. So what we do as coaches, we bring people on, we bring our challengers on, and we love on our challengers. Like when we see somebody that is successful, getting in their first workout, completing a fitness program. Another part of becoming a coach is building your own team and bringing on people that want to run with you. And so you recognize your coaches that are finding success in their business. So that's number three, is like recognition and recognizing the people that are doing really well, because that when somebody gets recognized, that's what helps them stay focused through those difficult times. That's what I love so much about this community is I've had doubts, but when you have people that remind you of how far you've come, it's a lot easier to stay focused and continue to improve. The last one I want to talk about is inviting. And I compare this to like any other business. So like you go into Target. If Target shut its doors and Target didn't allow anybody in, they wouldn't gain any business. So in order to find success as a coach, we have to continue to invite to either the coaching opportunity, kind of like what we have you guys doing right now. Sharing, it's as Joe says, it's sharing, it's not selling. And then when you work on your minds, when you get results from the programs, it's going to be a lot easier to share because it's not going to feel like selling because you're talking from your heart instead of your mind. So in order to build any kind of business, you have to invite, invite to the coaching opportunity. Or we have our challengers, which is our customers. So we run these Facebook accountability groups. Us as coaches, we hold our challengers accountable in these Facebook accountability groups. So it's continuing to invite and continuing to plant the seeds. And just like I said, just sharing it and speaking from the heart and telling your story. So those are the 4 daily vitals. The next thing I want to talk about is the live events. So at the end of the day, coaching, it takes hard work. It takes this long-term vision, but it's so worth it in the end to become the person that has confidence. What happens is when you go through these struggles, when you learn and you grow, you build more grit inside of you. And because of the cool thing is whatever work you put in, you'll get rewarded from Beachbody. And one of their incentives for working hard is the recognition trips. So as I said at the start of the call, I won a trip to Punta Cana this year. And I'm really bummed. Like I really wanted to go on that trip, but the virus canceled it. But a couple years ago, I won a trip to Riviera Maya, and it's just so cool. It's being around all these other successful coaches and learning from them and being around the super trainers. They have this whole event planned out where you have all the celebrity trainers guiding us through workouts. It was an all-inclusive resort, so I was sitting down and drinking mojitos and having all you can eat food. And it's just, it just feels so good when you win trips like that, knowing the hard work that you put in and the lives that you're impacting through coaching. And I'm only one person, so it's good. It's very rewarding to build a team, because at the end of the day, the people I impact, I should say, like, there's certain people that won't resonate with me, but when I build a team, that person's going to resonate with somebody else's story. So that's the cool thing about this. You get recognized for your hard work. They have all these other events that you can go to. So they have an annual event, summit, that got canceled this year because of the virus also. But it's really cool because they're doing a virtual event. They're going to have so the way it works, if it wasn't canceled, if it wasn't virtual, we were going to go to New Orleans this year. So they have, I think it's like a 4-day event where it's all scheduled. So you have like keynote speakers, you have all these other motivational speakers, you have the trainings to grow your marketing skills, to grow your sales skills, to grow your mindset. And it's just the energy there, just being around like-minded people that help you grow. And that's what I was missing when I was going to the gym, because yes, I was going to the gym, I was getting results, but I wasn't around people that pushed me to grow, that love me unconditionally. And that's the cool thing about these events. Like, you're around all these supportive people. You get to hear all these inspirational stories. 100-pound weight loss. As Joe said, he got off his cholesterol meds. I know a coach that was going to commit suicide, and he didn't do it because of this community, because of working his mind and growing his body. It's just great, like, being around people at these events. Like, you have this huge workout, thousands of coaches in the streets of New Orleans, all working out together. And there's coaches of all walks of life. Like, there's people that are fit. There's people that are just starting out, not at their goal weight yet. There's moms, there's dads, there's everybody. Like, if you have a heart to help people, you'll be very successful as a Beachbody coach. And the last thing I want to say is, so you have Summit, and then you have what's called the Super Weekends, which is a quarterly event. It's kind of like Summit. It's a little bit smaller. It's broken down by different areas. So it's a local event. So kind of like what me and Joe are doing. Like, there would be it's basically like a coach sneak peek to show the new coaches what coaching is all about. There's a big group workout there, and a lot of times they do this at Summit too. They introduce the new programs that are coming out, and they recognize like a coach that has success, or a challenger that has lost a lot of weight. So the events, like, completely change your life. Like, just being around all those people and just hearing the stories and knowing what's possible for your life too. And it's crazy, when I started coaching, I never thought that I would win a pool party to one of the celebrity trainers' house. But we had this workout challenge that we did. I did it with like 9 other guys, and we ended up winning this party. It's just so much fun, just being around everybody, all that positive energy. So that's all I want to say is the events. Yes, a lot of it is through online, but when you actually go to an event, that's when everything changed for me.
Okay, awesome, Mike. Thank you. So yeah, there are so many different reasons why people become a coach. We talked about, wanting to help people. But one of the biggest aspects that Mike just touched upon is just being part of a community. And you don't understand what that community is until you're part of it. And it's so, like Mike and I would never have known each other. We grew up and lived in different states. We met through this opportunity, and now we're like best friends. And we're working together pretty much daily on Zoom calls, pushing each other to set higher goals and reach higher goals every day. And that's why Mike and I partnered up to do these calls with you guys. Some people become coaches just to stay more accountable to their own fitness journey. Others become coaches because of the financial opportunity. And that's what I want to talk about right now. What do Beachbody coaches get paid? How do they get paid? What is the opportunity? As Mike talked about earlier, it really depends on what your goals are and what your desires are. If you're a discount coach, then you're probably not in this for the money. You're in this to enjoy the discount. Beachbody offers you 25% discount on all the products that you purchase if you're a coach. So there are a lot of people who are passionate about using the products, using the programs, the nutrition plans, and all the supplements, and see the benefit to their own personal bodies. And they're like, hey, why pay more for it? I'll just take the discount. And so Beachbody gives you that generous 25% discount off of everything. But if you want to actually earn money, then you've got to be either what we call that hobby coach or that business builder. And I'm a business builder, like Mike. I have a full-time job in the pharmaceutical industry. I don't say this to brag, but I already make 6 figures, more than enough to provide for my family. So why do I want to be a coach? I want to be a coach because this opportunity, and before I even get further, I should throw out the Beachbody disclaimer that Beachbody doesn't guarantee any level of income. Your level of success is dependent on your own skill, personal grit, goals, and ability to meet those goals. So basically, it's up to you to do the work. The opportunities are out there and they are limitless. So back to what I was saying, I want to become a coach because I love the opportunity to be my own boss and set my own destiny. If you've been following my journey, you'll know that a couple months ago, I was laid off from my job. And, everything was going great up until COVID hit and the business took a hit. And the company, I was working at a medical device company. They stopped selling medical devices for the last couple months, and they had to lay off 10% of their workforce. And I was one of them. So for the first time in my professional career, I had no job. But I had already started working on my coaching business. And I did find a new job very quickly, in fact, at a pharmaceutical company with a promotion. And so that's sustaining my family and keeping us moving. But my passion is in coaching. It's making a direct impact on the lives of other people, but also having that financial freedom and freedom of time. Oops. Sorry. To be able to do what I want, when I want, with who I want. And that's just it's not the luxury that you have when you're a director at a pharmaceutical company, or if you are doing, whatever it is you're doing at your day job. You don't have that freedom because you report to someone else. Someone else was that entrepreneur that started a business, and they are carrying out their dreams, and they have employees who are carrying out their dreams for them or with them. my point for me and for my family is I'm that entrepreneur and I'm working to develop my own dreams and my own goals. And so let's get into numbers here now for Beachbody. Beachbody gives you so many different ways that they pay you, but I really want to focus on the two most common ways. The first thing is retail commission. Beachbody will give you a 25% commission on any product that someone purchases through you. So you're using the products, you're sharing them, you're inviting people, and someone says, sure, I want to do that because I'm seeing your results, or if you haven't gotten your results yet and you're sharing someone else's results, maybe mine or maybe Mike's or someone else's on the team, and they get all excited and they want to start their journey with you, Beachbody gives you 25% of the commission from whatever that person buys. And that's the way that most coaches start earning money from Beachbody. But after you start helping, because the thing that separates this business, and this is why I always say we don't share, we don't sell, we share, is because we're sharing what is working for us. But then once that person decides that they're going to purchase something, that's when your actual job starts, because now it's your responsibility to help them. You don't just say, okay, here's the link or whatever, and you just purchase this and then you're done. You do it on your own. No, you bring them into your challenge groups, and we all partner up and run our challenge groups together, and we help each other as a community, and we help people get results. And that's what separates us from like gyms. And I'm not a gym hater or anything like that. It just didn't work for me personally. And if it works for other people, that's great. But one thing that separates us from the gym is we hold our people accountable. I know I had a gym membership for 4 years, and I averaged going to the gym maybe once or twice a month because I felt I was so busy and I couldn't break myself away from my job to actually take the trip over to the gym, walk around and figure out what to do. And so I just wasn't doing it enough. But the gym never called me. They never said, hey, Joe, we've looked into our system and you haven't shown up yet this week. Is everything all right? Can we help you in any other way? Is there some better way we can support you? No, they just kept deducting my $50 a month. And then, when I went to finally quit, that's when they were like, oh, why do you want to quit? I'm like, because I don't know, I've given you guys $50 a month for 4 years and I've probably shown up maybe 20 times. And it's not me, it's you, but it's not you, it's me, but that's what separates us. We give our people that support. So as you start supporting your people and they get to the point where they want to start helping other people, that's when the fun starts. And Beachbody thanks you for helping other people and creating that ripple effect by giving you a team bonus on what your team does. So as you start building a team, your team is going to go out and they're going to start helping people. So for example, I bring Mike on and that's fine. I get a commission. Mike brings Sally on, and Mike gets a commission from Sally, but I also get a percentage bonus from Mike helping Sally. And then if Sally starts helping 3 people, then Mike will benefit from those from the aid that Sally gave to those 3 people, and so will I. And that's where the limitless possibility comes, with your ability to inspire and motivate enough people and bring in those people and form a team that works together and create that ripple effect. Me, Josiah, I can only help so many people. But when I bring my team on and they're all helping other people, and I know that I've helped them and teach them what to do and how to run a great challenge group and inspire people, how to post on social media and market, and how to invite people without feeling icky or salesy. That is helping more people change their lives. And even though I might not have directly brought somebody into the business, the fact that they're coming into the business and being part of our team, and I'll train them as well, that's when you've become a leader in this industry. And again, Beachbody gives you those increasingly larger bonuses because you're building that team. And the key is like I said, I can only help so many people, and I don't have to go out and recruit 100, 200, 300 people who are going to be working in this business. The goal is, if you come into this business and you stick around and find 1 or 2 leaders, that's when you're able to start cashing in on this business. When you can find 1 or 2 people who are just as passionate as you about this, and then you teach them to go out and find 1 to 2 people, and they teach those people to go out and find 1 to 2 people, that is when the fun starts. Now, you're going to have to find more people than just 2 people, but you're looking for 1 to 2 leaders. It's almost like if I told you that you were sitting in a basketball stadium, and here's me down on the court, and I flipped over 10,000 solo cups, and they're all just spread out on the basketball floor, and you're up in the stands, and I yell up to you and I tell you that there are 2 diamonds under 2 of these cups. It's your job to go find them. Now, how fast would you go and start flipping cups? And who knows, maybe you find those 1 to 2 diamonds right up front. Maybe you find them in the middle. Maybe you find them at the very end. But the only way to guarantee you will never find those diamonds is to stop flipping cups. So you go down, you flip all those cups, and that represents sharing this opportunity with other people and saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. If they say no, okay, there was no diamond under that cup. You can, wish them well, offer to follow up later because things change with people, and I'll get into that in a second. But if you keep flipping the cups, success is inevitable. You'll eventually find those leaders. And people who end up finding 1 to 2 or even 3 to 5 or 6 leaders and teach those people to find similar amount of leaders, that's when you develop a huge organization and you have a huge impact. And that's when the financial opportunity can be quite extensive. In terms of percentages, each time your team sells product, and again, the more leaders you have and the more leaders they have and the more leaders they have, the larger of your team, it comes out to basically about 5% of every bit of product. So might be small at first. Maybe your team is selling $100 worth of product in a week. Well, you get $5. Maybe your team is selling $1,000 worth of product in a week. Well, you get $50. Maybe your team is selling 10,000. Then you get $500 that week. Maybe your team is selling 100,000. Well, then you get 5,000 that week. Maybe your team is selling $1 million, and you can figure that out. The larger you grow your team, the larger your product is going to sell. Beachbody is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So we always say there's about 400,000 coaches, but not all of those 400,000 coaches work the business. So that's what I wanted to talk about in terms of retail commission. I want to talk about objections. So we'll go back to the flipping of the cup analogy. So you're flipping your cups, you're looking for your diamonds. Most of the time, you're not going to find a diamond. Okay. There are a lot of different reasons that people will say no to an opportunity like this. But let's first define what an objection is and what it is not. We'll start with the not. First, it's not a final answer. Okay. And again, I'm not going to teach you to be pushy or anything like that, but just have that mindset when somebody tells you no. That doesn't mean it's final. And when I say that, it's just don't ever give up on that person. Okay, so today they said they didn't want to join your challenge group. That doesn't mean in 2 months or 3 months, they might not want to. Okay, I started my fitness journey when I was 40. It's not like I spent, I probably started my decline in my fitness when I was about, 24, 23, 24. It's not like I spent all of that time in between there against being part of fitness. I just hadn't found a program that worked for me, and I hadn't decided I was ready for it. But when I was 40, I was ready. And that's when I joined. And fortunately, at the time that I was ready, this community was here waiting for me. So it's not a final answer, but what it is, it's that the person saying no has questions. So in terms of the presentation, you haven't answered their underlying question. You might not even know what their question is. So an objection is a speed bump. The person you're speaking with is uncertain about something. They may lack trust, or they're just unsure of something, that this opportunity is right for them, or that the challenge group is right for them. So the best way to counter objections is to ask more questions. People make decisions based on feelings. And when you ask questions, you start to learn what they're feeling, and you start to be able to empathize with them. And when you're able to empathize with them and they feel that you're authentically feeling what they're feeling and you're listening to them, that's where they're going to start to take your pitch or your offer of help more seriously. Because everyone wants to feel like they've been listened to and that you're not just trying to sell them something. If they feel that you're genuinely helping, then they're more apt to listen to you. Objections are excuses, and we all have them. You guys might have some right now, about why you can't be a coach in this, why you can't be successful in this, or why this opportunity won't work for you. And that's our job, to share different experience, my experience, Mike's experience, other coaches' experiences about how they overcame their own objection. When I was first invited to be a coach, I said no because I didn't think I had the time. Again, I have 3 kids, 2 of them twins, full-time job. I was a senior manager at the time when I became a coach. And I had a lot of responsibility at work. And I thought that I didn't have the time to do this. But 5 years later, still a coach. And I'm making the time every day to do this because I've made it a priority. And I've cut things out of my life that aren't a priority.
It's 9 o'clock.
So you don't see me spending too much time binge watching things on Netflix, even though I like certain TV shows, but those don't help me reach my goals. Sitting down and making this a priority and building a legacy is what my main goal is, and that's where I've made it a priority. So when you're talking to people and you're asking questions and you're validating their concerns, that's when you're able to make an authentic connection to their feelings. And the key is you have to be authentic. You can't be salesy about it and just focusing on selling. There are some people who this opportunity is just not right for, and maybe not right for at this time. But when you're making an authentic connection and trying to find out what their main concern is, maybe their concern is they don't have the time. And then you start asking, I felt that way too. And, this is what helped me to realize that I did have the time. I realized that I didn't have to sit down and spend hours upon hours doing this. There are times where I can just sit there and say, oh, I need to get this done. It's going to take 10 minutes. And I sit down 10 minutes in the grocery line, or waiting at a doctor's office, although these days with COVID, we don't get to do that anymore. But when you do have these little power pockets of time, maybe it's a half an hour, maybe it's a full hour. Sometimes it's only 15 minutes. The task that you're able to do, and you're able to do it. And in terms of, could I be successful in this? Some people don't have that confidence in themselves. And that's why we're part of a big team, because we motivate and inspire each other. I've seen people from every walk of life. I've seen young people in their 20s, people in their 30s, people in their 40s like me, even people much older than me have extreme success. One of the coaches on my upline, he is a very successful, this won't mean anything to you right now, but he's a 7-star diamond, which is a particular rank in our industry. But something that will mean something to you is he's part of what Beachbody calls the Million Club. And the Million Club are people who have amassed at least $1 million in earnings through Beachbody. And so he hit that goal a couple of years ago. This week, his mother, who is in her 60s, hit that goal. So she is now she is a member of his team, and she is a part of the Million Club. And it was a big, huge event because she's kind of like the mother of our team. So on our team, there are over 1,000 coaches, and everybody knows Beth, and she is just the mother of the team. And so we were all extremely happy for her. But she could have used that excuse. I'm in my 60s, and, this is a young person's game. No. I know another coach who's in his 40s, and he started a little bit after me, and he could have said, hey, I'm a guy. This is only for women. Most of the women are killing this business. Well, he found his way as a top 10 coach 2 years ago, and he's been the #1 male coach in this business for the last 3 or 4 years, I think. And I mean, again, everybody can come up with their own different excuse of why they can't have success, but we can always show you someone who had that same excuse and was able to have success. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is how do you get started? So one of the greatest things about Beachbody is that it's not like other businesses where you're required to buy a whole bunch of stuff and store it, ship it, and deal with all of that stuff. Again, it comes down to you're doing your workouts, you're doing your nutrition, you're following your nutrition plan, you're drinking Shakeology, you're getting killer results because these products really do work. And Mike and I are living proof, but there's plenty of other success stories out there. And you're sharing that with other people so that they can get their results. But the coolest thing is Beachbody handles all of the logistics so that you don't have to deal with that stuff. They collect the money, first of all. You can create a shopping cart for the people who want to buy something through you, and it gets emailed to them. Beachbody, excuse me. Beachbody handles all of the shipping. They handle any returns. They handle all the customer service. They do all of that stuff so that you can just focus on yourself, and you can focus on sharing your journey and then helping your clients out in your challenge groups to help them, just inspire them to get good results. That's all you really need to do. And the coolest thing with all of those logistics that Beachbody does, the cost for that is $16 per month. That's it. That's the only thing that I pay to run my business. A $16 coaching fee to run my business. And to top it off, we mentioned back at the beginning, I get 25% off of products that I'm already going to use. So that easily, with any one product that I buy, and I buy way more than one product, I'm making that money back easily. And I don't have to deal with any of that stuff. I don't have to collect money. I don't have to deal with shipping. I don't have to deal with returns. I don't have to deal with technical support, any of that stuff. Beachbody does that for you. They provide you with your own website that takes you probably about 2 or 3 minutes to customize. Like, you can type in whatever you want it to say, but they create the framework for it and the template for it so that you can get up and running in about 2 or 3 minutes. So that's really the way you get started. That is your coaching fee. Now, if you sign up with a challenge pack, so again, you're starting a business, you're going to want to start using the products. And you're going to want to be in our challenge groups so that you understand how the challenge groups are run. Generally, people will start with a challenge pack. So what is a challenge pack? You get access to all the workouts streaming online. There's like well over 700. And as Mike said, they come out with new programs all the time. Like tomorrow morning, we're actually getting a sample workout for the newest program that's going to hit later this month. It's called MBF, Muscle Burns Fat. And then after that program is over, it's a 3-week program, there's going to be an advanced version. So MBFA, Muscle Burns Fat Advanced. That program is hitting tomorrow morning, a free sample workout that we're going to be able to share with everybody so that they can try it out. And so you get access to that. You get access to all 700 programs in a catalog. You also get a 30-day supply of Shakeology to try it out. And there's a whole bunch of different flavors, so you can pick which one you want. And there's 2 different styles. There's the whey protein version, and then there's also a vegan formula that doesn't have any whey in it. It actually has pea protein. Both are about the same in nutritional qualities. But you get a 30-day supply of Shakeology with it. Or if you don't want Shakeology, you can substitute that for the performance line, which would be our pre-workout and our post-workout as part of the challenge group. So the challenge groups for the rest of this month are on sale. They're normally, the base challenge group is about $160. There are additional deluxe versions of the challenge groups, which include more product that are a little bit more expensive, but they provide even more value because you get discounts on some of the other products as well. But the base challenge group, challenge pack, which includes Shakeology and all of the workouts, you get access to the entire suite of workouts for a year, is $160. That is your regular price. For the rest of this month, Beachbody has it on sale for $20 off, so it would only be $140. And there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you tried it out and you didn't like it, you can quit your coaching account, and you get all of that $140 back. You don't actually start paying that coaching fee until the second month. So the first month investment would be $140, and the second month investment would be any additional product that you buy. So if you want to stay on Shakeology, again, now that you're a coach, you would be getting a 25% discount, and then you would also pay that $16 coaching fee. But that would be in month 2. Also, when you get started, you would be enrolled in our new coach training. So we call it Coach Basics, where we give you an in-depth training on all the tasks that we briefly touched upon tonight. So things like running a challenge group, things like marketing and connecting and creating relationships with other people. This, like I always say, this is not a sales business, this is a relationship business. And we teach you all of the different ways that you can build genuine relationships with other people. And then the final aspect, like I said, is being present in your challenge group. So you're joining our challenge groups as a challenger and learning how we run our groups and being part of that group, learning to be part of the community and getting great results on your own. And then sharing that with other people. And maybe later on, as Mike and I are starting to do right now, we're branching out on our own and we're building our own team and our own community as well. And that might be something that you do in the future. But you're always part of our team, and we're always going to mentor you on the different levels. Like I said, the first start is a Coach Basics, and as you hit different levels, there will be new trainings available to you to the point where, you know, we're starting to train you on first, you know, how to do those basic tasks to start bringing new people into the business as challengers or maybe as coaches. But then we'll start training you on to how to build a larger team and how to become industry leaders. And so that's all I wanted to mention tonight. The other thing that I wanted to throw out there is that Mike and I are offering an extra incentive this month. We already told you that Beachbody has a $20 discount on all challenge packs this month. So even the more expensive versions are also $20 discounted. And if you're interested in a larger challenge pack, Mike or I can go over that stuff with you offline. But Beachbody already has the challenge pack discounted $20. If you sign up as a coach before the end of June, we're going to throw in an extra $25 gift card for you. So that would bring basically the value of this challenge group. So you get all the workouts for a year, you get 30 meals a day with Shakeology, you get thrown into our challenge group and into our community, and it ends up going from $160 down to about $115 when you factor in the challenge group, if my math is correct. 140 minus 25 is 115, right, Mike? And that is a tremendous value. And the reason why we're doing that is because we want you to see the value that we're offering and to be part of this community. So that's all we have today. I know we went a little bit over the hour, and we thank you guys for either joining us live or watching the video afterwards. And if you have any questions, feel free to send them either to Mike or to myself. And have a great night, everyone. All right.
So